A wonderful day and welcome to yet another new video. We are now on this BMW E36, 75 kilowatt 1.6 gasoline engine from 1998. On this one we're going to swap out the front shock absorbers. I've already replaced it on one side. We still need to replace it on the other. And I'll show you why we're replacing the whole thing. Because actually we only wanted a stop, you see. We were going to swap the bump stops or the dust boots, but then we noticed there's no damping left. And also really hard to change because you've got to push the spring down so far to get the nut on up top, which is really a huge pain, honestly. And that's how the whole thing should look, exactly. As we can see, the whole thing slides back out and can then actually damp properly. It's from the Saks brand. Purchase link down in the video description, and what's really important are the bump stop and the dust boot, because the shock absorber moves up and down all the time and you don't want dirt building up and basically wrecking the seal inside the shock. It's important that those are intact, and that's also crucial for the TÜV check. That's that. So bring tools. You'll see we have to unbolt the top strut mount, and you'll of course need something sturdy to hold it steady while you work on it with a bit of care and steady hands, and keep your grip nice and steady. And of course a spring compressor. There are different kinds of spring compressors too. We've actually got one of those stand spring compressors. It's a bit tricky to use on this model, or rather on this type of spring, but it still works pretty well overall though, to be honest. It does stick a bit, but you can manage it. XXL Automotive also has other spring compressors. With the discount code VIDEOVOLVE, you get 5% off and can grab yourselves some tools, I'd say. Let's get started. It's generally recommended, especially with the brakes, to get yourself some new bolts just to be safe. They're already pretty rusty and one or two bolts can easily strip. I'd say let's go ahead and get started right away, without further delay right now, so let's get to it. The brakes will of course also be done, but this video is mainly about the shocks. This is what the whole thing looks like. Unscrew the two bolts, and up here, this is basically the steering knuckle. It's bolted on with 3 bolts. And ammeter, loosen it. Now we can go through it one more time. Wiggle it out. It's kind of tricky, but just take all that stuff off once. All right, okay, you know. This one's, I'll show you, on the knuckle, it's actually a pin that's sitting right in there. Okay then, just like that, there you have it now. Done. The whole thing is, of course, badly corroded, so you basically have to kind of wiggle it out a little bit, really. So we've got it out of the pin, and it must come out the knuckle top. So that's it. Now just be careful with the brake hose and the ABS sensor, so it can come back through here. We're going to unscrew the 313mm nuts, and then the shock absorber will come straight toward us. When placing it, be careful that it doesn't actually end up in the vibrations. Avoid placing it directly into the vibrations at all. Remove the whole thing completely. That's what it looks like now. You can already see that the bump stop is clearly visibly broken. And because it's broken, dirt gets in here. And the shock just goes up and down and damages the seal. Oil hasn't leaked yet, but we'll probably see in a sec that the shock doesn't spring at all anymore. I couldn't even tell before, but you can see here that it's completely busted and heavily worn out right here. Bump stop. And when we take the spring off in a minute, we'll see the shock's probably not bouncing properly anymore. Okay, let's get started. So, now we can just unscrew the whole top once. Let's take this cap off now. Now we have the problem that if we simply try to turn the nut, the shock absorber will rotate with it. So the rod, that's why we must hold the rod firmly, and that's why there's this tool where we can put the correct adapter on. So, you see, we've got the problem. We need to loosen the nut, but also hold the shock absorber steady. And there are different systems, an Allen key, or sometimes just a slotted one. There are different systems. And yes, you then of course need the special socket that's long enough and that you can brace. That's what it's commonly called, yes. And then the story. So, now we can turn the nut and at the same time kind of hold the shock absorber steady. So, now watch out at the same time, and make sure you stay focused on it a little longer while you do it. All right now, understand. Okay, got it? do whole thing once. Tower bearing. Still looks good. Now we need to give the whole thing a proper cleaning. That part stays on. Clean it once thoroughly. The spring stays put. Yeah, and I think, as you can see, yeah, it's quite definitely flattened as well. Nothing's going to happen now, so I've repositioned them again because we can't get the spring compressed far enough. So I let go again and repositioned it. But that immediately gives us the problem that this plate will press down on it and we won't be able to get it out. I think that was the problem, to be honest, really, yeah. Yeah, and then afterwards. Back in again with the whole thing. The important thing is where this pin goes in. You can clean that up on the steering knuckle once. So, the bolts up here. The M8 bolts. According to BMW, according to a lot of forums, these bolts should be tightened to 14 Newton meters. I think that's a bit too low. Basically, those M8 bolts should be tightened to 24 Newton meters, so you have a rough guideline to go by, basically. And how much you can tighten them up. So write everything about this down in the comments below. And like I said, 14 Newton meters according to the internet. My recommendation, tighten the whole thing to at least around 24 Newton meters. And then that should be done. So, I've now gone ahead and set the whole thing in place. The two bolts are torqued to 110 nanometers, and the top bolt, or its nut, is torqued to 80 nanometers, precisely as stated exactly. Tighten the bottom one first. Yeah, then put all this stuff back on. Hoses, the wear indicator, and then that whole thing's done. Yeah, folks, this is what it can look like if you want to change the front shocks. Like I said at the start, all the important buy links are down in the video description, and you've already seen all the tools you might possibly need. Yeah, please drop any questions or comments about the topic down below. Thanks. If you've got any questions or suggestions on what else to do, ask. Drop them in the comments below, and I'd say, oh right, on this one, we're going to change the brakes now, front and back. There's not really anything else planned video-wise for now. Yeah, just go to the channel and type in E36. Everything will pop up. I'd say, see you next time. Bye for now then, okay?